Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, Talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. Text 14. O immortal Shiva, please be kind towards me and fulfill my desire. You have accepted me as half of your body. Therefore, please show kindness towards me and accept my request. Text 15. The great sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva, the deliverer of the hill Kailasha, having thus been addressed by his dear wife, replied smilingly, although at the same time he remembered the malicious, heart-piercing speeches delivered by Daksha before the guardians of the universal affairs. Text 16. The great Lord replied, My dear beautiful wife, you have said that one may go to a friend's house without being invited, and this is true, provided such a friend does not find fault with the guest because of bodily identification and thereby become angry towards him. Text 17. Although the six qualities education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage are for the highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. The text is 18. One should not go to anyone's house, even on the consideration of his being a relative or a friend. When the man is disturbed in his mind and looks upon the guest with raised eyebrows and angry eyes. Text Text 19. Lord Shiva continued, if anyone is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative. For such grief continues to reign on hard day and night. Text 20. My dear, white complex completion wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me. Text 21. One who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed both mentally and sensually cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized person, being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization. He envies such person as much as demons envy the supreme personality of Godhead. Text 22. My dear young wife, certainly, friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcome one another, and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respect to the super soul who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body. Text 23. I am always engaged in offering obeisance to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed, revealed without any covering. Text 24. Therefore, you should not see your father, although he is give give of your body, because he and his flowers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. Text 25. If in if in spite of these instructions you decided go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relatives, this insult will immediately be equal to death. The ends Bhakti Vedanta Papada, fourth canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. Thank you very much, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Radha Mataji. Hare Krishna. Rasa Mataji, when you're ready, you can start moving.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for reading the translation. I'll start with little prayers. Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Prabhuji, I'll share my screen.
Yes, Mataji.
So we are starting with text 14. In this third chapter, which is titled as Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati, the first half of the chapter is done where Sati Ma is requesting from Lord Shiva, asking for a permission whether she can go and attend the program, a function which is there at her father's house. And she continues over here in text 14 till the end of the chapter that we will see today. In text 14, she is asking Lord Shiva, she's placing a very strong desire in front of Lord Shiva and asking for his kindness. And by asking for his kindness, she is reminding Lord Shiva that I am your half, like, I'm Ardhangini. I am the half of your body. You have accepted me and you're so kind. So you will not let my request go unfulfilled. This is why she's placing this desire. And then we'll see text number 15. And text number 15, here Shiva is smiling. And then he replies, so why is he smiling? Because he wants his wife to be happy. This is why he smiles. But at that same time, when he's smiling, he is having those all harsh words that was said by Daksha Prajapati few days ago. He can remember those and he's feeling very sad and upset about it. So here in the purport, Prabhupada has explained very well that Lord Shiva is on such an exalted position. He's such a good devotee. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that a devotee should maintain equilibrium, whether it is happiness or sadness. So why is Shiva feeling that little bit of sadness and moroseness in his heart when he remembers all what things that Daksh Prajapati said? So here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Maharaj explains, which is stated by Prabhupada in the purport. He says that Shiva is Atmaram, no doubt about it. But at that same time, he is also in charge of the mode of ignorance, the tamogun in this Brahmanda. And because of that, because he being in charge, he gets affected by the pleasure and pain of the material world. This is why he is feeling that sadness. But when this same thing happens in a spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan, it is completely different. It is completely transcendentally blissful. Like when Krishna is getting chastised by his mother, Yashoda, he is very happy, but he's crying, but he is happy because it is very blissful situation. It is a very beautiful rasa being exchanged between mother and son. When the gopis get distressed because they are not able to meet Krishna, they're away from Krishna, or because of any prank that Krishna plays, it is not pain, it is not sadness, it is still a transcendental blissful feeling, which does not happen in material world. In material world, everything is contaminated. And because of its contamination, you can actually feel the pain and pleasure separately. And this is also one of the reason why Shiva, being in contact, because he's the in charge of Tamogun, he is feeling that pain in his heart when he's remembering about the things that Daksha Prajapati said. We'll go on to text number 16. Um, in 16, here, Lord Shiva is now starting to answer all the questions and the request that was put forward by Ma Sati. And here, the first question that he's answering is what Ma Sati said in text number 13, that you can go uninvited to your friend's place, father's place, and all that thing. And now he's saying that you can go uninvited provided they are not fault finding in you due to your bodily identification. This is very important that Lord Shiva is stressing over here. If a person is identifying is finding fault in you because of how you look, because of your appearance, it means that person is very bodily conscious. There is no spiritual consciousness in that person. And here Daksh was also very puffed up because how lustrous he was. We remember reading that when he entered the assembly, there was a beautiful effulgence which spread around because of his bodily luster. And he did not like how Lord Shiva appeared. So he say here Lord Shiva is answering that Lord Daksha Prajapati is way too puffed up with all his material qualifications, and because of which he will get angry. And this is one of the strong reason why you, as in Masati, should not go in this function. We will go on to text 17 over here. So here in this shloka, in this verse, Lord Shiva is understanding and agreeing that Daksha Prajapati has many beautiful qualities, like he has education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, good heritage from the family. So, but at that same time, because he has too much pride for it, he is becoming blind, and because of which he doesn't have a good sense of good or bad. So such kind of people should also you should not associate with. So here, pride, as discussed earlier, also pride comes when you start thinking that I deserve this. One thing is to be grateful about all the material qualities whichever we are given by Lord, being grateful for it, and one is expecting that yeah, this is what I deserve, so I have it. So here Shiva is talking about that beautiful six qualities that he has, but at the same time, he's very puffed up, because of which there will be bad results. Here, Prabhupada is giving us example of milk. Milk is very good. We should all have milk. It has a lot of nourishment in it. But if that milk is poisoned by a snake or any kind of poison, that milk is not going to give us any kind of good results. It's going to be fatal to us. And here, one more example that is given by Chanakya Pandit is a snake is going to be dangerous only whether it has a jewel attached on his head or not. Because the nature of the snake is to bite. Whether the person in front of him is innocent or not, his nature is that he is going to bite. So here, this example is also given in relation with Daksha Prajapati right now, because there is so much pride and he's so much puffed up with all the material qualifications that he is definitely going to let you down, is what Lord Shiva is explaining Ma Sati. Here in this purport, Prabhupada is also specifying about Kunti Maharani. That Kunti Maharani addresses Krishna as Akinchana Gochara. What does that mean? It means he's easily approached by people who are bereft of material things. So we can take a example, which is not mentioned here. I was thinking about it. Example of Sudama. Sudama was materially bereft. He did not have much. Like you can say, he had nothing. But he was very, very attached to Krishna. He was constantly meditating on Krishna. His heart was only for Krishna. So for him, it was easy to get attached to Krishna. So does that mean if you have materially few things, you cannot get attached to Krishna? Again, if you are Krishna conscious, if you are using all those material qualifications in the service of Krishna, then still you can be very much attached to Krishna. And when I was reading this, I could think about Pandavas. Pandavas, after all the Yuddha they won, they were materially opulent, but still they were serving Krishna because Krishna was the center of their life. They were still very Krishna conscious. So being Krishna conscious is very important, whether whatever condition you fall in. And then here, unless Krishna conscious is not there, all your material things are going to be like a zero. So you can have a car which is zero, you can have a house which is zero, you can have a good job which is also zero. So you will have so many zeros in your life, but that zero is not going to yield anything for you unless you don't put Krishna in front of it. So when Krishna, one, is put in front of it, those zeros actually stand a value of 10, 100,000, whatever. So Krishna is very important. Otherwise, life, whether you have any kind of material qualification, is going to be very empty. Hmm? Then we will move on to the next shloka, next verse, verse number 18. Hmm. In verse number 18, Shivji is explaining Masati that Daksh Prajapati at this time cannot be trusted because he has a very envious nature. Though Satima is his favorite daughter and all that, but still he is not in a good state of mind. He's in a very envious state. So here, example by Srila Prabhupada is of a lioness. A lioness will take care of her cubs very nicely, lift them up very gently with her mouth and all that. But it is also heard that that same lioness is also capable of eating her own cubs. So here, um, um, Lord Shiva is actually giving instructions that if you do this, if you go and attend this program, you might be in a bad situation later, which we might regret. Then moving on to next shloka, verse number 19. Here, Lord Shiva is saying that if one is hurt by arrow of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by unkind words of relative. So when I was reading this, I was thinking about a pastime which I had heard from Mahabharata. I'll give you an example. Once there was a situation where during the Mahabharata, during the fight when it was going on, Yudhishthir Maharaj was attacked by the Kauravas and he was severely injured. Some or the other way, they rescued Yudhishthir Maharaj and took him back to the base camp. And then Arjuna realized this and he came running to check on his brother. How are you keeping? And then when he asked, how are you doing, brother? I saw you got hurt. Yudhishthir Maharaj, because he was in too much pain and Arjun was supposed to protect him. He said, what were you doing on the field when they were attacking me? You should throw away your Gandiva. Gandiva is the bow and arrow that Arjuna carries. So when he said that, Arjun became very upset and he said like, Yudhishthira Maharaj, big brother, now I'll have to kill you. Why? Because I have taken a pratigya, I have taken a vow that if anybody in this world will tell me to give up my Gandiva, I'm going to kill that person. So you just told me I should throw away my Gandiva, I should give up my Gandiva. So I will have to kill you. And Krishna was there. It's like, what are you talking about? This is not how you have to really kill him. How about you use very demeaning word, very hurtful word towards your brother, and when you are going to accuse him, make him belittle, he is automatically going to have a death. And that's when Arjuna starts accusing his brother, starts using foul language that, because of you, we are in this situation, we should have not come. And he starts not using very kind words. So, and Yudhishthira Maharaj was very morose. and very upset hearing this. And then Krishna explained that when you use unkind words to your own beloved person, it is as good as death. So here, Shiva is also trying to explain the same thing to Masaki, that a person can get away from any kind of wounds by even enemy. But if your own loved ones say something to you which is not good, unkind words, that stays with you forever, and the results might not be very positive with it. Then moving on to next verse, verse number 20. Here, Lord Shiva is reminding Satima about the same thing, that this is when you will go there, you will not be honored, because Daksha Prajapati will not have this thing in his mind that, oh, my daughter is here. He will have this thing in his mind that, oh, Lord Shiva's wife is here. And because you are connected with me, you will not be given good honor, though Daksha Prajapati, like for you are his favorite child, still you will not be given any sort of basic honor also. Then 21 is also one of the important shlokas. Here, Prabhupada is explaining about envy. So here, Shivji is also talking about how your father is envious. So envy is also one of the first reason why we all came to this material world. We were envious to Krishna that, oh, Krishna is having all the fun. Why can't I be Lord? And this enviousness is the first reason that qualified us to go enjoy material world now. So person is envious because he sees things on bodily level, right? But when a devotee is seeing someone doing great things, he thinks that it is Krishna's mercy on him. This is why he is doing all these great things. That particular person who is able to achieve something nice, the devotee thinks that he is nimit matra, how it is stated in Bhagavad Gita also. He is an instrument for Krishna so that certain work can be achieved. This is how a devotee will look through at a person. But envious people will always be upset that why does that person have so much? I'm going to make sure that I will have more than him or her, and I will destroy his things also. This is how enviousness is. Um, Here, Shiva is also explaining in the puppet, Prabhupada is also explaining that Lord Shiva at that time was meditating on the Lord. So he was not envious to, in any ways, to Daksha Prajapati. He was constantly meditating on the Lord, and his eyes were shut, and therefore he was not able to see whether Daksha Prajapati entered or no. So this is also like when this question can be raised, like, oh, even Shivji did not get up, so he must be envious. He was not envious. He was constantly meditating, and this we will also see in text number 23, one of the most important one. And in text 22, also it is explained that pranam that we do, or dandvat, or obeisances that we pay. So when we pay obeisances to each other, we are not paying obeisances to this material covering, to this body, like this person. We are paying obeisances to Lord Krishna or Paramatma in that person's body, right? So the obeisances or namaste that we do in India are respecting the super soul inside that person. But people may um, misunderstand that all these obeisances are for me. So how great of a personality I am that people are giving me obeisances. So this is also a misunderstanding that we should be stay away from, that we always offer pranam to Lord, because only he is a person who needs pranam. Rest all the material people, they do not need all these respect. They are not they don't require this respect. These respect are only meant for the Lord or super soul, however you put it. Text 23. Text 23 is one of the most important shloka, also one of the lengthiest purport, which I would request if devotees have time today can go through. Uh, so here, I will read the translation and then I'll start. I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudev in pure Krishna consciousness. So here, in this purport, it is specified that as soon as one is in Krishna consciousness, it is understood that he is in pure original constitutional position. Our constitutional position is to be Das of Krishna, be his servitor. So when we are in that position is equal to, that position is called as Shuddha Sattva, or it can also be called as Vasudeva. Okay. So when you are in this position, the external potency or the material energy no more affects you. You are away from that material energy now. So in this purport, Vasudev is being used in many meanings. Prabhupada has explained many meanings of it. So here Vasudev is also used for sun. The sun is called as Vasudeva Shabditam. What does that mean? It means that he's everywhere. He's all pervading. Hmm? Vasudev is also the name of father of Lord Vasudeva, right? Father of Krishna is also Vasudeva. But here in this context, in this verse, here Vasudev is used to explain the state of pure consciousness or Shuddha Sattva, which one person can achieve if he is under the direct action of the internal potency and the activities of the material consciousness has stopped. So when you are directly under Krishna's internal energy, under that jurisdiction, then you are in Vasudev mode. But if you have a little bit of also material consciousness, you cannot reach that state of Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is the ground wherein Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is revealed. Like this, from Vasudev stage, you can start to understand Krishna Vasudeva. Uh, Vasudev stage over here mentioned is also to be known as Kaivalya. This is a place of pure consciousness, very clean consciousness. There is also one very important word which is used here, apavrita. So apavrita means being free from any kind of covering. So internal energy does not have any covering. We are in material energy, we have covering. So because we have covering, we cannot see internal energy. So it's not that internal energy is packed into something. It is clear and right about that. We are unable to see it. Hmm? So, so how will these material eyes, be able to see the internal energy of Krishna? Because now I just said we have covering, we are not eligible for it. But here, Prabhupada is explaining that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained us that if a person is going to do bhakti, the mirror of his heart and mind will be cleansed very nicely, and in that he will be able to see Krishna very nicely. I would like to give a quick example of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was able to see Krishna. In a lecture not recently, so a few days ago in a lecture, I heard that this was written in a book by one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Hmm? That when Srila Prabhupada was there, one day he was having a very ecstatic kirtan at midnight. And he was looking very bright and beautiful, and he was alone in the temple room, and he was having a very ecstatic kirtan. He was running from one end to another and dancing. And he was wearing a huge garland. All the way from his neck, it touched his toes. It was that big of a garland. It was made out of kadamba flowers. Kadamba flowers are very difficult to get, and the size of the kadamba flowers was huge also. They were not like small. And the disciple, Prabhuji, the servant of Srila Prabhupada, did not disturb him during his kirtan, but he waited there. And when Srila Prabhupada was done with his kirtan and when he came back, he asked Srila Prabhupada, uh, how were you doing like this beautiful kirtan right now? And where did you get such a beautiful garland from? So Prabhupada told him, Krishna came and Krishna gave me this garland. And we had a very beautiful kirtan. me and Krishna were dancing. So this is what he heard from Srila Prabhupada, and he has written down in that book. And it means that he saw Krishna. So this is why we also use the word Ashtotara Satta for your spiritual master, because he is already at that Shuddha Sattva level where he is able to see Krishna. So the covering of material energy is taken away, and this is why the internal energy of Krishna is revealed to such great devotees. Here, this is a little long. Lord Shiva is also saying, explaining in the puppet, it's being explained that Lord Shiva is saying that I am at Vasudev stage. I am always close to the internal energy. I am meditating on Krishna constantly. This is why I am in Samadhi. So Samadhi is not a thing which is under the control of a devotee. A person cannot say, okay, I'm going to sit in Samadhi right now. This is not how it happens. Samadhi is something which is under the control of Krishna's internal energy. It is under control of Krishna, not under the control of devotee. And Lord Shiva is always, constantly in Samadhi. And it is said that this is why when Daksha Prajapati came, Shiva was meditating and he did not pay obeisances to the Daksh Prajapati's body, but he was paying obeisances constantly to the Paramatma form inside Daksh Prajapati. Hence, he did not get up to give any kind of obeisances because he had already given obeisances to Paramatma. So there was no need. But here, Daksh Prajapati got angry because he was only understanding things on bodily level. So this is why his ego was so badly hurt. Hmm? After this, in text number 24, in 24, oh, I missed one point. In text number 23, there is one more term which is used as adhokshaja. In the last line, we can see adhokshaja means when a person that we cannot realize God by having material senses. Only once these material senses are taken out, will we will be able to understand the Lord very nicely. Then moving on to the next verse, which is verse number 24. Here, um, Shiva is explaining that I know he is your father, he is the giver of your body. But right now, the state of mind your father is in, so envious that he can also turn out to become the taker of your body. He can take away your body also. In this purport, Prabhupada is explaining that for a woman, both husband and father are very, very important. You cannot distinguish. But still, because the father is giving you the body also, you pay him more respects. So this is why um, a, a girl will be inclined towards father, but according to Lord Shiva, it is not a very sane thing to do because of his enviousness. He will become a taker of her body, Lord Masati's body. In text 25, here, as the translation says, in spite of this instruction, if you decide to go neglecting my word, the future will not be good for you. Shiva is telling Ma Sati outright that what will be the consequences if you go there. You are most respectable. And when you are insulted by your relatives, this insult will immediately be equal to death. So we know this whenever somebody walking on the road might abuse you, may not know you, might say few unkind word, it will not bother you as much. But if your own kids or if your own family member or anybody who's so or your father might end up saying something bad to you, it will stick to you with you for ages and ages to come, right? And here Shivji is telling that it might be equal to death, and that's where this chapter also ends. That's all what I had to say. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for wonderful class, Mataji. Hare Krishna.